Hey guys, my name is John Kalam and this is the YouTube channel Kuhol Garage. After more than 4 years of steady and not so steady progress, I'm here to show you guys the latest updates on our Project Coupe all-wheel drive. It's technically not done yet. There are a few more things that we need to do for the car. The car has been mobile. It has driven a very long distance, 35 kilometers or 40 kilometers from its previous location at KVI Quick Lube into this current place now, which is our Kuhol garage location at an undisclosed area. Well, it's far from perfect as far as drivability is concerned, but at the very least, it is mobile. It works, sort of, and there's still something that we have to solve with the car. So I want to make this video to show you guys around the car and tell you guys on what has gone on since our last update. But just to give you guys an introduction to our project car over here, let's go through the highlights first of all for the first time viewers out there. So this is a 1997 Hyundai Coupe. It has been released here in the Philippines as the Hyundai Coupe. In other countries, it's called the Tiburon. Alright, this is a clean sheet designed with a curvaceous body patterned after sharks. That's why it was given the name Tiburon. In the Philippines, it was called the Hyundai Coupe. And informally, we consider this here as the Hyundai Elantra Coupe. I do like the platform of the 1996 to 2000 Hyundai Elantra, and it has been my dream to be an owner of the two-door version for the longest time. I am the proud owner of all the body configurations of the 1996 to 1998 Hyundai Elantra, sedan, wagon, and of course the coupe over here. What sets this apart from all the ordinary coupes and the majority of Tiburons in the world is that it has been heavily modified to accommodate a 4G63 sort of engine. Why I say sort of? It's because it uses a Hyundai block, a G4JP 2-liter block with various amounts of 4G63 Evo 4, Evo 5 components, and especially stroke topped to 2.3 liters and featuring forged internals for what is hoped to be some sort of reliability in motorsport conditions. So the engine is pretty much hopped up in its mechanicals. It's still running a standard configuration Evo 5 turbo. Not only we did the engine conversion, we also did a complete transformation of the powertrain or the drivetrain rather. Instead of it being front-wheel drive, powering only the front wheels, it's now powering all four wheels. So this is a legitimate four-wheel drive vehicle using the front suspension pretty much from an Evo 4 and the rear suspension sort of from a Subaru. So this really a kind of a Frankenstein build in the most creative and most budget meal friendly as possible. But when I say budget friendly, I do not mean that we have scrimped, did shortcuts. No, we did all that we can, but not using any high-end branded components, but just using very durable, reliable, OE tested components from the manufacturers like Mitsubishi and Subaru to get our car into its current configuration. To take it to this point, it has taken us more than 4 years. We started this project on October 2020. As of the filming of this video, it is February 2025. So more than 4 years. And it's still not done, unfortunately. And the thing is, it's a project that we could not really focus on our time 100% as we our business is running a quick service car repair shop called KVI Quick Lube. So this has been worked on only on slack times. We're very proud of what we have achieved so far And we just have to resolve the drivability issue that this engine is currently facing, some electrical gremlins that it still has, just to get that engine perfect so that we could drive this car in anger. And of course, put air conditioning. As you can see, we live in the Philippines. It is a tropical country. It's hot even now. At the middle of February, where it's supposed to not be so hot, I'm already sweating buckets. In the last video, we did tell you guys that we kind of screwed up the engine. The timing belt broke on the car because we installed the balancer belt tensioner incorrectly. It was a very expensive lesson to learn. The timing belt situation of this car is a bit unique. Even though technically it uses a lot of Evo components, due to the fact that we're using Hyundai block, we kind of had to retrofit the usage of the Sonata timing belt, the G4JP timing belt. And we also destroyed the crank angle sensor. So while waiting for the crank angle sensor, we decided to have the car painted right here. The paint here is a shade of N Performance Blue that we obtained the paint code of for Veloster N. And you can also see here some orange details. So it's just a basic orange color. So we tried to update this car to pretend that this could have been an N car should N have existed back in 1997, 1998. So we just decided to use this shade because Hyundai does not really have a racing color for the longest time, except until recently with their introduction of their N Performance line of vehicles. So we also have been very much immersed in the rally scene in the country. So we want to pay homage to our heroes in rally by building a car with a rally motif. Not necessarily a car that I would really want to use in rally, but even though I could, technically, feasibly, this car could do some rallies, tarmac, or even some dirt stages. The thing is, racing nowadays at this juncture of my life, there are things that I rather do more. So I don't know if really I could go back to motorsport, to go back to racing and to try out rally again and other disciplines. But for now, I'm still enjoying the fascination of trying to fix cars and trying to make them better. You know, I have been a car modifier for the longest time as my hobby and passion. So this one, wanted to make it like some sort of pretend rally build, even though it is really legitimately four-wheel drive. But we decided to fit some off-road tires, some Road Cruiser RA 1100. The reason why we decided on this tire is because this is the only tire that we could find on a 205 60/16 size that could barely fit within the wheel wells of the Tiburon body. At least with the Elantra wheels that we are using from a 2011-2012 Elantra. It's kind of hard to put 15s on the front brakes because the front brakes are for an Evo 4 GSR, so they're kind of big, and minimum size is 16s. So it was a bit of a difficult search for an off-road tire. Luckily, we were able to find these Road Cruisers and they weren't so expensive. And then I don't know if you could see on this shot, but you could also see that there are mud guards. If we can't rally, at least we can pretend that this car rallies, right? We just installed this cheap body kit just to try to change the look of the car beyond its standard configuration. A front side view on the car is as follows. You could see that it has the front ABS chin spoiler at the front with some orange accents and other accents also on the side skirt, rear spoiler, and door handles also orange, just to give the car that added N performance touch. You kind of need auxiliary lights for racing on low light conditions. They're pretty good. Yellow lights so that you really get the max resolution while driving at night. when it rains, they don't get washed off as much as white or blue lights. You can also see here the hood vents. This is just to keep under hood temperatures controlled, but they're a bit, well, they're very small actually. So on this side, again, road cruisers. We just installed the mud guards actually yesterday. And I think they kind of look good for the car's profile. Let's go zoom out. Okay, I think they look okay. Then you could see also in profile, it's parked beside my Elantra sedan, Elantra wagon, and yeah, the two-door over here. But let's walk some more. Again, road cruisers at the back. These are kind of huge. You could see the wheel wells are very, very small in diameter as compared to the tire. They're very cramped, but they don't rub. That's what's important. They don't rub so far. Then we installed this rear deck lid spoiler on top of the existing spoiler. Okay, you may consider it a bit chintzy, but I think I like the look. At least it looks different. You may like it, you may hate it, but on profile looks good. When you look at it in this way, it kind of looks that the spoiler's extended. Rear spats also in orange. Let's take a look inside. Okay. So there's so much revision. I think we did feature in a previous video that we're utilizing gauges for a Mitsubishi Lancer Pizza model. So this comes from a GSR or a GLXI. The gauge cluster doesn't work yet. That's one of our next projects since our major problem is electrical now. So we want to make the tachometer work at the very least. Nardigare 3 steering wheel from a Subaru. Alright, the center fascia. Okay, it's definitely from a Lancer, but this panel was supposed to have a radio. But we have made something out of natural composite, which is wood, basically plywood, a plywood face, and mounted these gauges and switch panel setup. Start button, switches for the intercooler, 2 radiator fans, auxiliary lights, and the main fuel pump. Mechanical boost gauge, electrical water temp gauge, and a mechanical oil pressure gauge. We are using Sabelt Clubman style seat belts on GK Tiburon seats over here. So they're pretty nice, good bolstering, side bolstering, so I think they grab us very well. And with the addition of these 4 points, at least we are not tossed around if ever we want to drive this car spiritedly. One nifty thing that we put on the car, we have put a tilt steering wheel mechanism over here. So the steering wheel tilts as such. It allows us to enter and exit the car, no problem. Accommodates our fat hips. I have to take you under the hood. So let's open this hood lock release. And let's take a look at the engine. Under the hood of this car is a sort of 4G63 engine. So it is a hybrid between Hyundai and Mitsubishi under the hood. I don't know if you guys know, Hyundai was able to license build several Mitsubishi engines and used it in their Hyundai cars. So the block is a G4JP from a Sonata, naturally aspirated, but we put in a bunch of Evo parts and upgraded the engine to a 2.3 stroker. But we are using the Evo 4 head, that's why the head valve cover is from an Evo 4, just painted blue. So instead of having a big intercooler in the front, we decided to go water to air. So this is a water-to-air intercooler that's supposedly good for 600 horsepower. If I were to do it again, I would rather use a smaller intercooler for ease of packaging. And we have an oil cooler on the left here in front of the radiator, and we have a motorcycle radiator that acts as the radiator for the water-to-air intercooler system. And behind it is what used to be the oil cooler for the Evo 4. We repurposed it for power steering. There is no aircon condenser here, so that's actually our next head scratcher to put air conditioning in this car. This has an aircon compressor. We're running this car without air conditioning, which is kind of sucky for the tropical climate that we are in. Again, four-wheel drive system, transmission from an Evo 4, prop shaft from an RVR, basically Evo 7 clutch setup. Really a lot of things that we have discussed already in previous videos. So I'd like to invite you to look at our back catalog of videos regarding this car on the Project Coupe all-wheel drive playlist on our YouTube channel. So, and of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask on the comments regarding this car. So, you find this car parked here at an undisclosed location, and I did tell you guys that this car was able to drive on the expressway for a very long while, 40 kilometers of expressway driving, without overheating, without any major issue, except for the fact that it apparently is not running on all 4 cylinders. Two cylinders are only 2 cylinders are firing as we speak. So for whatever reason, we did replace the alternator as part of the work that we kind of had to do to get this car in fit and fighting form. We had to rewire the alternator so that it doesn't overcharge. So what we did was got that done, and then suddenly the car was for some reason misfiring. I'm not gonna tell you all the battles, all the struggles that we have experienced with this car. The major thing that we are stuck now is that the car is only running on 2 cylinders. There's no fuel, there's no spark on the middle 2 banks. According to our friend Alex, who was very generous enough to visit us here and help us diagnose even until late at night, he did tell us that there is some wiring issue that renders the mass airflow meter useless for some reason. We have to go through the wiring again for the nth time to figure that out, or probably in the future just give up on the stock ECU running this and just go purely standalone and eliminate the mass airflow meter completely. So I'm still evaluating my options, but I'm not working on the electricals yet. I don't know if you could see, this is technically outside, this is on the street. So I don't want to work on the car and remove all the stuff and scatter all whatever parts in the street. So we're going to put it inside and we're going to work on it. But we're currently working on our Corolla that we are planning to turbocharge. So we're getting that set in order. Hopefully make it in time for our proposed racing event in March. If we don't make it, well, as long as we can get it mobile and be able to drive it around, that's gonna be our goal. But for now, this car's just gonna sit. We're gonna work on bits and pieces. Like, again, we did install the mud guards yesterday, and any other bits and bobs that we want to do. In Tagalog, mga samot-saring gusto namin gagawin namin. In English, bits and bobs that we want to do, we'll do bit by bit in order for this car, once we have the time to really sit down and really study the wiring, or find a friend or somebody who really wants to help us figure out the electrics of the car as far as engine management is concerned. That I would really much appreciate at this juncture. But for now, this car will just be parked here, immobile. Well, it will run. It doesn't run now. I removed the ECU, put it in storage, and the mass airflow meter is disconnected and it's on storage. I have 3 airflow meters that actually one of my projects is to take a look at it and figure it out. I was told maybe it can be repaired, maybe certain things just need to be resoldered and whatever. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. We'll just figure things out as they come. But yeah, I'm very happy with the progress, but I'm just very much disheartened, kicking myself in the butt that we still, after all this time, can't drive this car in anger, in a manner in which that I really want to do is to push this car to its limits and to my limits as a driver as well. But you know, I am not a trained mechanic. Right now I am an academic, so I'm pretty much good at talking, more or less. But push comes to shove, it's not that I am completely clueless in fixing cars. So if I can't find anyone to help me out, I will help myself, come hell or high water. With that said, this is the status of Project Coupe all-wheel drive. For those who are interested in this project, thank you so much for taking the time and interest to watch the whole series and to remain interested on updates on this car. In the future, we will get this car running. How fast it is, I don't know. We're running on limited funds. We're running on even limited time. So not really that there's a deadline for this car, but you know, I work. For now, that's basically it for this video. I hope that you guys find this interesting. If you have any questions, please do let me know in the comments, and if they're worth answering, and I will answer them promptly. But for now, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll end this video here. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.